list of the top gainers for the week. We have the PZ. We have the Transcorp. We have UBA. We have Zenith Bank. We have Fidelity Bank, and we have MTN. These are some of the lists that made the top gainers from the Nigeria stock market. And also from our commodity market, we'll be taking a few. The price of the top performing market for the week, the last 24 hours, we have that of the heating oil, we have the oil Brent, we have the oil WTI, and also we have coffee. Then from the precious metals, we have gold being sold at 1,924, we have silver being sold at 25. Then from the energy market, we have natural gas being sold at 4.93, heating oil is being sold at 97.74. We have Brent is being sold at $111.13 per barrel. Then the WTI crude is being sold at $108.24 per barrel. Then I'll take a few from the aluminium, from the industrial metals. We have aluminium being sold at 3,398. We have iron ore being sold at 150. Copper is being sold at 4.68. Nickel is being sold at 42,995. Zinc is sold at 3,849. Then tin is being sold at 42,400. That's all I'll take from our market update. Next, we'll be going over to our discussion segment. So welcome back to the program Economy Today, reaching you from Impact Business Radio Ibr92.5 FM. My name is Bright Richard. For our discussion today, we'll be looking at the Nigeria inflation rate. Nigeria inflation rises to 15.70% as fuel scarcity affects prices of goods and commodity in the country. We're all familiar with what has been going on in the country for quite some weeks. It all started with this off-spec petroleum product that was imported, and after that followed by the Russia-Ukraine crisis. And for those of you that were with us during the program last week, we looked at the impact of energy scarcity, talking about the price of diesel. But basically today we want to really understand the impact of inflation on our economy. And I'm not alone in the studio. I have Dr. Adedokun. He's the acting head of Department Economics Department from the University, Dominica University. You're welcome, sir, to the program.
Thank you so much.
It's nice to have you, and you're an economist, so you can help us better with this inflation. Will I call it inflation rate? No, Nigeria has been talking about inflation, and sometimes the NBS, that's the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, they will come up with a report. I remember the report they gave us at January. They told us that the inflation rate have dropped, and we can't really feel the impact in the market. But as at today, we're having some major crisis, energy crisis. Diesel is being sold at over 600 naira per liter. We have energy crisis, electricity is not there, fuel is scarce, and these are going to affect inflation. So can you help us to make a sense out of the current Nigeria situation and inflation rate in the country?
Well, first of all, let me appreciate you for bringing me here to speak to such important topic at a time like this. Yes, inflation as it is a very important topic, very important concept that everybody needs to know about. I, as I was coming, I was speaking to some people, and I said that see, it is the program is about how inflation affects you as an individual in the economy. Inflation is something that everybody has to know about. The textbook definition will say that inflation is the general increase, the persistent increase in general price level. Again, you say it's a general decrease in the purchasing power of whatever you hold as currency in your pocket or in your bank. Yes, what the effect is this. When we're talking about all these things that happen, oil prices, increase in petroleum, diesel, yes, those are parts of what affect inflation in Nigeria, what makes it to increase. There are also other things that it is not when we see inflation as a problem that people should start talking. There are some things underlying things that cause inflation ordinarily.
Okay.
Yes, we look at oil prices and we are all saying about this. But what has happened in the past? What are other things? What of the excessive expenditure of government?
Yes, that's one aspect.
Yes, it's an important aspect of why we have inflation. You see, when government increase the money supply in the economy, it's not only when government prints money that they increase the money supply. So when all these things happen, these are times that people should start talking, not when we begin to see the effect.
You talk about government expenditure. Are you looking at, sometimes they inflate contracts. Could this be part of some of the reasons you are building a road, you are quoting about 8 billion naira, you are building bridge, you are quoting billions of naira? Because most of our projects in Nigeria, they are all in billions. We rarely see projects in millions, and almost crossing over to trillions.
Yes.
So are these factors that are really, because
yes,
inflation have been like an home word in Nigeria economy. We've been hearing inflation.
Well, it's not only in Nigeria economy. I don't want you to see it that way. Okay. Let me say that there's nothing wrong in inflation.
Wow.
Yes. There's nothing wrong. The way we see that inflation is bad, yes. There's nothing wrong with inflation, but when it is persistent, when it is affecting us, when you see that money supply is increasing more than the increase in goods and services,
yes,
it's a problem. And that's when you see inflation. Now, the challenge about what you just mentioned is, we all knew when Nigeria built National Stadium Abuja, we were making jest of it that time that, imagine, it costs more to build National Stadium than to build Emirates. So and we all know what Emirates look like and what National Stadium look like.
Yes.
So by the time all those things happen, those money don't remain in the air. It gets into the community, into the economy. And this will definitely affect the price of goods and services. It's increased the money supply. You put in more money on a project, but you spend less on it. Where some other there are loopholes that have gone to some people's pockets. You understand? So this create a lot of problems in the economy. Even affect the government in trying, or the CBN in trying to say that they want to check the amount of money out there. So it gives problems to the CBN to also manage the amount of money in terms of money supply in the economy. So maybe you wanted to say something.
Yes, because you talk about the CBN. The CBN, sometimes they come up with interest rate, that's a lending rate, that they want to use that to control inflation. But there are two major issues here. We have the fiscal policy and we have the monetary policy. Don't you think the the fiscal policy that's from the government itself is overriding that of the CBN? Because when you will look at some of the policies, you want to reduce money in circulation, and as such you increase the lending rate. That doesn't stop the project, the contracts that the government is giving. The CBN is trying to mop off cash from circulation, because we believe that when you talk about inflation, there's too much money pursuing fewer goods. But when you now bring up situation increasing the lending rate, it's going to affect the manufacturing sector, because these are the people that require this loan for production. the politician will never go to the CBN to borrow money.
Yes.
They just go there, they quote contract, and they put it out there. So don't you think there's a kind of like a...
Okay, let me try to break it down this way. When we talk of inflation, inflation it is in itself is an induced driver of inflation. And I want to try as much as possible to let somebody that does not understand economics to understand what we're saying here.
Okay.
Now, for example, there is inflation. There's increase in price of goods and services. You know that diesel is also increasing.
Yes.
You form an expectation that, see, in another next week, if you go to the market, you're going to find higher increase in prices. So what do you do today? You want to spend everything you have in your pocket to say that,
your house.
yes, let me just buy whatever I need now, because this money next week won't be able to buy enough that I need. But you do that, you are giving drive on demand.
Yes.
So when you do that, it's normal economics. You post threat on supply. By the time you do that, you give a kind of mentality to suppliers that, okay, they are increasing demand. Definitely, that will go to price.
So that's the one we call panic buying.
Yes.
Okay.
When you do this panic buying, it gives a signal to supplier. It increases prices as well. So that's why I said that inflation itself, it's a kind of something that also increases inflation. It's induced in itself. So there's no way when there is inflation, it becomes problem. Friedman, sorry for making mention of some fathers of economics. Friedman is a monetary economics, and what he said was that, see, inflation is monetary issues. Increase in money supply definitely will increase inflation. Yes, you talked about the fiscal part of it. Government expenditure driving inflation.
Yes.
Reducing tax or increasing tax or whatever, driving inflation. Yes, those part also is very key. Now, it becomes problem if government fail to address inflation early enough. There will be a problem in the system, because it becomes difficult for CBN to say that, yes, they want to mop out money in circulation. The effect of that, let me tell you, is going to affect what is needed to also aid production in the economy. And the result of that, expect recession. So by the time the government also look at this and see, this thing will also form, there is no government that wants to go into recession. Yes. It's a key thing that you use to measure the performance of politicians. No politician, president, nobody wants to hear that there's recession. So they want to increase what their expenditure in the economy. They want to increase that, even though the CBN is trying to mop out the excess money supply in the economy. They do that as they do that, running away from recession. But again, they're going back to what the problem that CBN is trying to. So the key thing is, every system must look carefully into what is the policy and what is going to be the outcome of the policy. And every economy should build well its foundation. Nigeria, it's a pity that we don't have what it takes to have a country running well to go out of all these troubles every day. It's a roller coaster thing. We come down, we go up, we come down, we go. The last time, 2 times now, we just went out of recession. And
I want to draw your attention to something.
Yes.
And I feel it may be part of the inflation we are having in the country, because it has been not just a today problem. If you look at other countries in the world, like the US, the highest currency denomination they have is $100. Then if you go to pounds, the Britain, I think the highest is about £100 or thereabouts. Their currency denomination is not as high as that of Nigeria. Now let's bring it locally. There's fuel scarcity. The man who drives bike, who charge 50 naira, the next point of call is 100 naira. And 50 naira is going out of circulation in terms of usage. You hardly see 5 naira. It's almost like a scarce.
Nobody spent that again.
10 naira is out. 20 naira is almost becoming like just for change. So now, don't you think our currency, will I call it denomination, is still another factor? Because in developed countries, they don't use higher denomination as we do.
Well, let me try to. Don't let me say I want to correct a notion from that part. You see, other economy has high denomination too, $500. But in those economies they call it banknotes. It's if you take $500 on the streets in the US, I doubt if they will collect it from you.
So they call that banknotes.
Yes, they're like notes used by banks for transaction. You know, banks will have to transact in.
With
So
themselves.
yes, so it's not that they don't have higher denomination,
But
too,
not in
but
circulation.
not common in circulation. Even $100 they're talking about. You see, most times they spend $50, they spend $20. You see, $10, $5 more in circulation. So we can say that yes. Now you saying this, we went through a journey before we get to where we are
Yeah.
today. Now, by the time there is denomination in naira, it becomes you need more naira to purchase a dollar, to purchase a pound, to purchase an euro. Okay, by the time you need all these, it is difficult for Nigeria to say that yes, the highest denomination we have is 100 naira. Then you need to use bullion van a lot of time to do what you have to do in transactions, because the economy itself cannot allow for such operation.
But don't you think it was the introduction of the 1,000 naira note that built the economy to this present state? Because if you look at the journey from when we are having it as 100 naira highest denomination, the cost of living, the cost of prices, goods and services out there is not as it is today. Because I'm thinking if we now have like 5,000 naira note, definitely demands will be higher, workers will ask for more wages, more, because there was a time they were trying to look at dealing with inflation, and somebody from, I think from one of the CBN was talking about, let's deal with it from figures, let's remove like 1 zeros or thereabout. You're an economist, you know how that plays out. So that's why I'm still now thinking that currency is not playing a higher denomination, it's not playing a negative role on that, because inflation has been a Nigeria thing for a long time. I can remember since when we're talking about inflation, it has been there. Each government will come, will still battle with it. Where scarcity will come, it will worsen the situation, and we hardly go back to where we are coming from. If by the time the price of fuel goes back to normal, diesel goes back to normal, price of goods and services may not return back to normal. It has been a problem. So that's why I'm looking at the currency itself.
See, I will say it again, that inflation as a figure is not a problem. Please don't get it that inflation, increase in price of goods. I will tell you that Phillips Curve in economics look at the relationship between inflation and unemployment. Okay, and as at 1960 to when Solo did his test for Phillips Curve, they discovered that it's only 1 year that even the US had deflation. That means from 1960, US have been having positive increase in price, inflation over the year. It may be a figure inflation. It may not be double figure as ours here. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that yes, every good economy will say that we can't have more than a single digit inflation, which is good, which is the best. But by the time you have double digit, by the time you continue to increase it to hyperinflation, it creates problem. Now, the cost of inflation, there are so many things. Trade unions also cause inflation. By the time you negotiate for increase in wages and all those things, you negotiate for increase in wages. The woman selling anything in the market also want to think that yes, people have increased salary, they have increased people's salary, then I also increase my own income. We also jack up whatever is selling. And so many times we think that the producers, the sellers, they are greedy. That's why inflation is increasing. No, in a free enterprise system like us here in Nigeria, there is no supplier that wants to supply and sell his good on a higher price because they are competitors. Yes. The best thing they want to do is that they look for the best product and sell at the lowest price so that they can win more customers. So, but even if you look at inflation, by the time they continue to increase their prices, look at what diesel is doing now. There's nobody producing. I bought a Snap yesterday. A Snap that we bought December. We bought it for 700 naira. Yesterday that I bought it in one of our supermarkets. I bought it for 900 naira.
Even though that one is even on the higher side. If you
Yes.
look at pure water that has been sold for
5 naira.
2
Pure water is now 20 naira.
is the bag is 250, 300.
I'm talking a sachet,
Yeah.
a sachet, 5 naira. Sometimes they go, it's now for 20 naira. It's not their fault. Not because they want to make exorbitant profit, but because they have to respond to market conditions. The cost of production has increased. The diesel has increased and every other things have increased. So they have to also, and don't forget that it's the profit that these people make also that make them what they have. So, and before they know it, their profit continue to shrink over time. Continue to shrink over time. So it's an encompassing thing that everybody needs to look into and to always make a noise about it.
Now let me come in here. We'll be looking at the problem as an economist. Is there anything you think, either from the fiscal aspect or from the monetary aspect, is there anything you think we are not doing right? Because we used to have economic management team or economic advisory team from the federal level, which I should believe, or the average Nigerian should believe, they are should be giving the right advice to the government on policies and whatever, down to state level and the like. So is there anything you think we are not doing right? Is it as a people or as a government?
Yes, there is a way out, and that's the good luck that we have here.
Now good luck, Jonathan.
No, there is a way out, but a difficult one,
Wow.
given our system. You see, economics is at the mercy of politics in Nigeria. You want me to say that again? I will say that again. Until our politicians are ready.
So that's where we have cases of they are lacking the political will to
Yes.
implement certain policies.
Yes. Now, I will tell you what can be done economically to ease this tension. Now, money supply is a problem. Increase in money supply more than increase in output causes inflation. Now, I will advise the CBN should do what they can do to shrink or to reduce their assets, their balance sheet. When they reduce their balance sheet, they can do this by selling securities out. So they mop money out from people's corporate firms, organizations, and so-called. They mop out money from that. But again, I gave a warning at that time. Nigeria economy is not as good to implement such policy for now. We just struggle to leave a position of recession. Doing that may drive us back to recession. So that's a warning. May drive us back to recession. Okay. So, but the challenge there is this, and this is the way out. Nigeria should do everything positive. I mean positive, to make sure that output increase by all means.
What do you mean by output? Is it
Yes,
production?
the production level of the
Okay.
country. Without that, we are going nowhere. We are going down, down, down.
But that means we will need the CBN when it comes to production. That means we will need the CBN fiscal system to enhance production. Because at this time, I remember last week,
If you say to enhance production, that means they have to push more money out.
that is a problem.
That's why I said that becomes very dicey. And this is where I'm pushing it to the politicians. Now that's why I told you that economics is at the mercy of politics in Nigeria. In most of the country, but Nigeria is worse. Now, look at this way. You said something the other time. The money that is used to execute projects in Nigeria are almost every time inflated, more than what is required for the project.
Yeah.
Why? You read something when you were doing your introduction to the program. You said that they traced that it was 2.2 or 2.2 something of the contract that was given out to lawmakers in Nigeria.
Yes, 2.4 billion from the budget was
Excuse
traced
me,
to.
why is that a business? Are they businessmen? They are lawmakers. Why are they interested in projects? Before they know it, they don't know. Now, for example,
But don't you think they are trying to implement projects that will better the lives of Nigerians?
you mean them?
The lawmakers.
The lawmakers. Okay, let me tell you this. Lawmakers, some of them, yes, they are professionals in whatever they do. But that's not their assignment. They were going down there. Some of them are not engineers. They take contracts that engineers should execute, what would they do? They find somebody
to
execute it. For finding somebody standing in between that, they won't do that for free. In fact, that is their interest for getting the contract in the first place. So they take maybe almost 50% or whatever percent they take. They take it out of that. That is creating problem. That is why I say that, or else they are ready to fix this country. If you are not ready to fix this country will not be fixed.
So that means you are going the same line with Tony Ilumelu, who said that for this current crisis we're having, we should hold our leaders accountable.
Perfect.
Well, before I will hold you a little bit so that our listeners can be part of the program.
Okay.
I'll call out the phone lines that you can call. You can call us on 090 2280 9257 090 2280 9257. You can also call 091 6104 7698 091 6104 7698. And also you can call 090 4128 4528. You can be part of this program by calling any of these lines I've listed. So sir, you were saying something.
Okay. Now, do you know that it's even interesting that our monetary bodies in the country, many of people making policies, it will interest you to know that many of them are confused.
Why do you think so?
About the position where we find ourselves in Nigeria. Ordinarily, 1 + 1 must be equal to 2 anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's the standard.
That's the standard.
Okay.
Come to Nigeria, say 1 + 2. 1 + 2 should be equal to 3. Sell it to the government. Government, please do this. By the time government do 1 + 2 in Nigeria, it will be minus something. Because some people, they are somewhere, and their interest is never to make things happen. They want to hold what belongs to millions of people into their own account, in their own pocket. So they want to continue to be the babake anywhere they find themselves. So that is a fundamental problem in Nigeria. Except,
let me cut you there. We have a
okay.
call on it.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. My name is Tilo calling.
Okay, go on, please.
Yeah, regarding the inflation that is thing that could not manage up to now, we need to blame, or don't see recording, we need to blame our government this time around. In fact, this money, under the review, I like that Amutajero, the governor of Jigawa, I don't know why people so kind of this. Is it because they were going to eat under the God of power? Everybody knows that the thing is all okay this time around. Somebody said we need to give a fair report and be commended the Israeli government. If you know how amount we are spent to buy a bag of that time, he was now, somebody that have not seen the talk of the school could know that the thing is not easy at all. I call it state. And the policy that the government take it to public is unfriendly. Remember, year back, now the other time too. You know, Solodo, the one that they pay time around in another state. He wanted to introduce the 5,000 denomination. You know, why is it that the people that are to be respected in terms of everything, they are doing otherwise to the public? I think they should have not gone to school. You know, as little as I am, I'm always working to the stochastic side and first year. All the time, see the way they are doing at our own expenses. So to go to the past as well. You look at it now, the situation is not okay. The government is not friendly. Look, anytime I always talk. I know people that I will be talking to favoring the government. No, it's not like I'm different. Look at the security. Look at the point now. Anytime the government, you know, increase the everything will be affected. But if they are the one that has the problem, problem for the economy Mr. Ga, with sample today. Look at me and Nigeria. Only that's only one road. See, before, we spent 5 naira and 50 naira to get out of the world. Now it's fun to it's a common thing. You don't need to go to university because you know all these things. It's government. You want to talk about PMM and PMB, that is the street. So it is when the gas is increasing that we have a problem. You know, the artisans increase their price. Our Yawa, go to the place to get the so on food. Then when they bring it to the area, they will kill the price. Anytime I talk over my place, I will not. I'm not talking in favor of the government. In federal government, the government will pass today. So please, you want to do today. Look at the government speech now. Look at your way now. You are spending more time. Even because you are interested in serving the humanity.
Yes,
you might have put that up now.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Hello? 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 Maybe you have to call us back. Let me go back to Doctor. Let me go back to Doctor. You were making a beautiful submission there.
Now, my look at what happened. What is happening in Nigeria? Okay.
Let me pick this call again. Hello. 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 Maybe you have to call us back. We hardly can hear you.
Now, as I was saying, look at the debt profile of Nigeria, for example. Nigeria continue to borrow. There's nothing wrong in borrowing.
Okay.
Organizations, business firms borrow too. They use it to support their businesses, and they get more in return.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name and where you calling from, please?
I am Primate Shitu.
Okay, sir. Go on with your thoughts, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adedokun. I want to appreciate your explanation so far. But I think I want to bring you to 4 corridors of why we have inflation in the country, and I want to see what you want to do. Whether you want to accept it, I will beg IBR to help me to beg you. I am seriously begging you, because I want to put the blame on your table, your people, the economic team in Nigeria, which you are one of them. Because I believe if you people are doing what is needed, by now we are not supposed to be here. Now there are 4 reasons. Number 1 reason is that we are not budgeting enough to build austerity measures. Now if we are budgeting too small, definitely the number of houses that is available, the people will be rushing to get it, and from there the landlords increase more. But if we look at what we are giving to agriculture for several years now, that alone is number 1 reason, our budgeting. Number 2 is the issue of development plan. From regional governments to 12 states, there were no plan to accommodate 12 states with the people that will be in the 12 states. From 12 states, we just jumped to 1936. We never had a development plan to accommodate 36 states. That is the biggest problem. The third one is census. Population check, not checking our population. IBR knows the staff. He has only employed the staff he can pay. But if IBR does not know the number of staff, how can he succeed? Inflation by now would have got into that place, and by God's grace, it will never get there. The last issue is price control. We don't know why we cannot control prices in this country. Dr. Adedokun, what is the way forward? Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Beautiful questions. I think let me throw that there are 4 questions given to you. Maybe you take the one after the other.
Yes, the crime rate, which happened to be the last one.
It's a price control.
Price
control. Yes.
Okay, the price control. Okay. Well, price control, it becomes difficult economically when we run a system like us here. I'm talking of price control. The inflation we're talking about, defile any form of price control. You understand?
But okay, go on, sir.
Because the reality on ground, it was speaking about what the economic team are doing.
Yes.
I want to tell you with every form of conviction that I know the economic team, they are doing their job and they're doing it correctly.
So why are we still having the same problems?
That's the same reason that economics is at the mercy of politics in Nigeria.
But don't you think they need to stamp their feet that for us to make headway, this is what the
So many people have resigned. So many people have gone out of that appointment in the term past. Because what they tell the government is not what the government is doing. Even when the government wants to try to do something, when they get to lawmakers, they again do something different. But see, we need to start asking questions. Look at the last time somebody among the lawmakers was like almost challenging every other members of the house. What are we doing? What are we doing? Except we do the right thing. Except we do the right thing. Nothing is going to happen. We continue to have problems. It was even talking about the amount of money in terms of our budget going to education. And it was saying that, see, there is nowhere Nigeria is going if we continue to treat ASU this way. But how many other people in that house supported him or agreed with him? He just ranted and that was the end. Because that's just their interest. They want that part of the budget that will go to those people to come to their own pocket.
But if I may cut you in, because if you look at our economy, we have two major drivers. And the other drivers is the informal sector. So I'm thinking that the government have little control over the informal sector, and that's why when it comes to taxation and the likes, the informal sector to an extent they've been having it like a free day. What do you think can be done?
Okay, let me just take that up. The informal sectors, you are one of them. The radio station here.
The radio should be a formal sector because
it's a formal sector. Yeah. Okay, it's a formal sector. Okay, I
like women selling.
I got you correctly now. The informal sector, we did a plan for your state recently, and the thing is to really look into how these informal sectors can be brought to the formal sector and make sure that they also contribute to the economy of the state in terms of tax payment, in terms of their contribution. In terms
sorry to cut you on that. That's the only area, for my own thinking, that's the only area the government look more at the informal sector, how to tax them. But you should look beyond the taxation. How do we improve? Because I'll be willing to pay tax when I'm getting contribution from the government.
You cut me short. I said in form of taxation and other things, and I'm about mentioning some other things that we talked about.
Okay, sorry about that.
So it is, you see, there are so many things the government, you see, for any system, even the former one, there are non-government organizations, okay, which are like your own radio station here, your formal station, but not run by the government.
Yes.
Okay, it's a private enterprise. Now, this private enterprise cannot exist, or let me say they will exist, but they cannot perform well to the optimum because of a reason. There's no enabling environment for them. Anywhere in the world, even where they promote capitalism more, the government is expected to provide that enabling environment. What are the enabling environments? Now we're talking about a system that makes sure that, okay, there's electricity for them to do their businesses. What is the government doing? The government is not doing anything about that. In my house, I'm telling you, I moved in my own personal house like almost 2 years ago. The only days that I can count that I use electricity between 7 and 10 o'clock, p.m., that I need electricity in a day, in every day in my house, I can't count more than 7 days in 2 years.
And you pay bills.
And I pay bills. I can show you NEPA text on my phone now that come every month that always tell me that yes, my bill for the month is this, and they give me up at the average of like 6,000 every month.
For what you don't consume.
For what I don't consume. So that's what if that building is used to produce pure water, for example. So that means that I will use the same diesel sold at the price of 700 something
700
to produce my pure water. So tell me when my pure water will not be sold for more than 20 naira per sachet. So tell me when the person on the street that want to eat just a wrap of fufu in one person's house that need 2 sachets of pure water will not be spending even the same price you need to buy a wrap of fufu.
Now, Prime, she talked about census, population census.
Yes.
Because this economics, you guys, sorry to use the word you guys, you deal with data a lot.
Yes.
When I see some of your data, your graphics, it gets me confused. I run away from it. So, and I believe this data, they go a long way for budgeting, like you said, and planning.
Yes.
You cannot plan for what you don't have figures you don't know about.
Yes.
So, how do you now relate that in economic development and also in your advisory to the government?
Okay. Yes, I will say this. If I'm a father in a family and I have 3 children, I'm telling you the number of children I have.
As you know, you have 3 children.
I know I have 3
There are
children.
some fathers that don't know what they have.
Yes, those are the kind of father you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Nigeria is a home led by some group of people that we see as fathers and as children. Okay. Now, if I know that I have 3 children, and I know that they have to eat 1 meat per meal, okay, then I know that for them to eat 1 meal, I need to put 3 pieces of meat on the table for them. So the same way, for a country, you need to know what the population figure is so that you can plan well. So, does Nigeria have that? I will say yes.
That we have a population figure?
I will say yes.
But we normally jump between 200 and 220 million.
You know why I'm saying yes? Please, have you heard of census in Nigeria before? Do we do population census in Nigeria? We do. Every 13 years, Nigeria count everybody. So I won't say they don't have. But the question is, what do they do with it? Because by the time you say that, okay, every 13 years, it means that you have a plan to say that, okay, you have a projection that every year, so percent will add to that number that you have each year, every 10 years. Now, that is to give you a plan. But when you have those figures, what do you do with the figures? Now, politically, the question is this. Even when you have figures, do you have the interest to protect those figures? And this is a question. You don't have to sit to allow that lawmaker, that guy there at Abuja, to come back to you before you call that guy, before you let him do the right thing.
Let's just pick this last call before we wrap up on the program. Hello? Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Time is already gone. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay, please, just less than 30 seconds, please.
So you, thank God that you are not taking it. What of I said is with the consideration so it's wrong. There, no censor. I said everything must be blamed on government because we are so they initiate the censor. So to initiate the censor thing, let's call it faith. Bad. Let's talk on the inability of a government that is in control. They have been in government for a long time. Why is it that everything is like a lever?
Sorry, I have to let you go. We've run out of time. So, sir, just give us your wrapping thoughts so that we can...
Okay, my thoughts about all those things we've been talking about since is that government should do everything politically to increase production in Nigeria.
Okay,
Please.
At this point, we'll call it a wrap on the program. I hope to have you sooner on this program. The program